Alrighty everyone, welcome back. It is now November 8th of 2024. Happy Friday everyone. Now we know that there's a lot of things that have been going on within the film industry, within the Hollywood bubble if you will, and focusing on ABC here, they have not been having a good month of November at all. The ratings continue to tank for all of their programming, whether it's The View, Jimmy Kimmel Live, Good Morning America, Kelly and Mark, whatever it may be. It's not looking good right now for the Walt Disney Company, especially not good for CEO Bob Iger. Now, focusing on Jimmy Kimmel, alright, we know that he has been teary-eyed in recent days, but it even got worse behind the scenes, and everything that's been going on with the constant shakeup now between the Walt Disney Company, the studio executives, the heads over there, as well as those over at ABC over the recent Jimmy Kimmel situation. This is Mike Zero. Subscribe if you're new, and like this video to see future updates. You can also follow me at Mike01. I thank you also very much for the great and kind support. So we know that Jimmy Kimmel has been very much, redundant and really making absolutely no sense on his show. Nobody that I know finds him funny. I certainly don't find him funny. I never really did in the past at least 10 plus years. But when you're focusing on how he's been acting, his recent behavior, based on obvious events, and this is only beginning to get out of control for Kimmel as a talk show host, or as a TV show host, if you will. There's been a lot of things going on right now, as he recently lost millions upon millions of dollars in recent days, and we're going to get into the actual meat of this right now. Now, what's specifically really interesting about this is that we have Bob Iger, who, by the way, is trying to save his career, or trying to basically create a legacy before he steps down in 2026. However, with the Hollywood bubble continuing to implode through all of its celebrities nearly in a state of panic, one monumental development going on now involves more to do with Jimmy Kimmel and his recent financial failure after the ratings for his show have hit an all-time low on ABC. A crucial update to the situation now involves how Kimmel now makes an annual income of $15 million, for those of you that do not know, a year for his talk show Jimmy Kimmel Live Show, which was, of course, set to get a pay increase up to a whopping, get this, $25 million. That's a $10 million raise, essentially. However, in the midst of the Jimmy Kimmel Live Show and all of his comments that he has been making on the show, especially recently, this just led the Walt Disney Company executives to hand down an emergency notice to the ABC executives that Kimmel will no longer be getting that $10 million payout raise on his show. To make matters worse for Kimmel, both ABC and Disney were also working on a new limited comedy series for Disney Plus that was going to star Jimmy Kimmel that would be considered family friendly. This project alone was going to actually pay Kimmel another whopping $8 million. All of these pay raises and this project in particular for Disney Plus have now been immediately cancelled behind the scenes, coming from Bob Iger, the Disney CEO, and it comes rapidly after the ABC ratings have tanked even more in just the past couple of days. Now, Kimmel is already reportedly outraged behind the scenes, blaming the studio executives for falling into the biased opinions of the public as far as he sees it, when in reality this just boiled down to business, since the ratings and his behavior were getting too out of control for them to use Kimmel in a family-friendly fashion for that special on Disney Plus. What's even more embarrassing for Kimmel is that he is being forced by the ABC executives and those high up at Disney to rethink some of his material, at least temporarily, just to see and to experiment if ratings improve for ABC for the live show. Kimmel is refusing to even experiment with that, and to even refrain from making, of course, jokes about a specific somebody, and this is creating a tug-of-war situation behind the scenes. So not only, guys, is he refraining and refusing to experiment by trying new material, but he's also getting really bent out of shape behind the scenes. He's getting very much angry toward the Disney executives, especially after he lost millions of dollars in contract deals and projects that he was supposed to star in. Now, some Disney board members, get this, are actually begging other board members to allow Jimmy Kimmel to do his own thing with his own writers and to take all of the risks that he wants. However, other board members are urging that his copy and paste jokes, along with outdated material, could lead to the show's cancellation or a full-on replacement of Kimmel before an expiration on his contract. So guys, before I get to the big conclusion about the whole Kimmel situation, which only gets worse by the way, is that this is a typical guy, and I like to always say this, within the Hollywood bubble. He is very self-absorbed. He says the most outrageous things on television. His material is so outdated, it is so old, it is so unfunny, and I've said this many times before as well. I have never found this man funny in a very long time. I mean, sure, you know, maybe he was funny in the Comedy Central days, but even then I was kind of like just so-so with him. Whenever he got that deal to go on late night television, I think it really just got worse and worse year by year, and here we are in 2024, hitting that all-time low, both in the public eye and everything that has been erupting behind the scenes. It's not looking good at all for ABC, which, by the way, ABC is owned by Disney. I don't know if you all knew that, but that is a given fact, and that's why they use people like Kimmel, Behar, Goldberg as talking heads of their overall ideology and their beliefs. But even Kimmel's ratings are doing so bad to the point where Bob Iger and the studio heads, at least some of the studio heads, and some of the board members are like questioning themselves. Maybe, just maybe we should experiment with something different, something new, just to see if ratings improve. And even that, Kimmel and his writers are refusing to do that. Continuing on, and to conclude, Kimmel recently heard about this conversation behind closed doors, and the drama was so bad, it actually rattled throughout all of ABC. It's now all beginning to fall apart for the Disney company as Bob Iger, the CEO, attempts to save his career, to leave a legacy behind before stepping down in 2026. So that's another thing, is that Bob Iger wants to step down in 2026. Specifically when, we're not quite sure. Whether it's going to be quarter 1, 2, 3, or 4, we'll have to wait and see. But Jimmy Kimmel, by far, and I've said this also, the worst late-night talk show host. I think that we need more people back like Jay Leno, Conan O'Brien, and among others. I think Conan was the best of all, to be honest. He never really got into, you know, real-world issues per se. He stuck to the funny material. He stuck to actual jokes that were funny, at least to me. And Jay Leno was also a very civil guy. So, yeah, Kimmel, I think, is just so out of touch with reality. He is so unhinged, like many others out there, like George Clooney, for example. We just talked about him, and Julia Roberts, and among others, even Robert De Niro. But that's another story for another time. We have a lot more to talk about him. But overall, I mean, Jimmy Kimmel Live, alright, this show really needs to be removed, just like The View, just like Good Morning America. I think all of ABC, quite frankly, needs a complete makeover. And I don't even know if you could do that, because this is typical Disney ideology. You're never going to get rid of it 110%. So I would like to hear what everyone has to say about Jimmy Kimmel. You know, what do you think about the guy? Do you find him funny or not funny right now in 2024? Did you ever find the guy funny, you know, back in the early days on Comedy Central? Let me know what you all have to say about that, and about the ongoing shakeup right now happening with Jimmy Kimmel and the Disney studio execs. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel, and I will catch you guys later.